Today we'll be making a paper poppy to symbolize Veterans Day and remembering and honoring veterans. This is gonna be a beautiful big display. Everyone's poppy is gonna look slightly different, but I'm gonna share with you the basics on how to create one. So when you get your piece of paper, you're gonna start by folding your paper in half and then in half the other way so that we have 4 sections of our paper. I'm gonna use a Sharpie so that you can see, but you can start with a pencil just in case you need to erase. I'm gonna be using a thick Sharpie a little bit later, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm gonna start by making a circle, a little dot in the middle of my page. And then I'm gonna make another circle around. On each of my folded edges, I'm gonna be making a line, and I don't want my line to go all the way to the edge. And you might notice as I'm using my chisel tip, I want this line to be nice and thick. So I'm gonna lay it down on that chisel tip edge to make it nice and thick. Okay, now we're gonna be connecting our lines together. And there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could make your petals all rounded, so just connecting with kind of a rainbow arch. Or if you want them to look more like this kind of petal, then you would do a little wavy line. So I'm gonna show you both and then you can choose. So I could do a curve, or I could do 2 curves. So I'm gonna just do every other here so you can see curve, or 2 curves like that. Okay, now we're gonna add some decoration. So in between, I'm gonna add a few lines. I'm gonna do a thick and 2 thin. I really like seeing the difference between the thicknesses in the line. Thick and thin. Maybe I even want to go back in here and make just a little bit thicker. Now for the middle and the other things, you can do whatever you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and add another little circle in here, maybe some more lines. Do whatever you want there. Next, I'm gonna get out my white oil pastel, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to different sections. So maybe a little bit of white in the middle. Definitely gonna wanna add some to the edges of my lines here. And we're gonna do it right along the edge, not on top, so that we can still see the black and the white. And I think I'm gonna do kind of a little dashed line on these just to look a little bit different. Then I'm gonna add a little reflection on the edges of my petals. So I'm gonna go like this. It's gonna make my petals look a little bit more 3D and dimensional. And then the last step is to cut out our poppy. When you're finished, be sure to flip your paper over and write your name and teacher code on the back. If there's time at the end, you can add a few little skinny lines of glue in the middle, maybe along the edges here, and then we'll be adding a little bit of red or silver glitter.